to this new video. On this video we are going to see the configuration of the VPN IPSec through the Fortimanager. Here we are going to use a Fortimanager virtual machine. Also we are going to use the firmware version on the first FortiGate, the 5.2.11. In the second one we are going to use the 5.4.5, and the Fortimanager version is the 5.4.3. Okay, so let's keep in mind that all this configuration is done through the virtual machines, and also we need to say here, for example, we have the configuration between the Fortimanager and the FortiGate. This is the same local area network. As we can see, the local area network is 10.0.2.0/24, but in this case we are simulating that the Fortimanager is taking control of this FortiGate. This Fortimanager has control of this FortiGate, and this FortiGate does not have any administration by Fortimanager or FortiCloud. Okay, so we are simulating that this connection is through the internet. Obviously, if we had another IP address, we are going to see different jumps through the internet on the ISP server. And here we are also, we can see that this connection through the port 6 through the port 3 is simulating a VPN connection. The VPN connection is going to travel through the internet. Okay, so we are going to connect these networks through the port 8 through the port 2. The local area network from this FortiGate is the 192.168.106.0/24, and the local area network from this FortiGate is the .200.1.0/24. So we are going to do this configuration. Okay, keep in mind that you can simulate all this configuration through your through another virtual machines. Here, for example, in my case, I am using all this configuration. I have different virtual machines, but okay, so maybe you are going to need a license. All this license you need to have it through your partner, or maybe yes, in this case this is going to be only through your partner. Okay, so let's see the configuration of each one. On this case, the FortiGate, as we said, this is the firmware version, the 5.2.11, and also we can see here the Fortimanager. As we can see here, there are add-ons, and in our current add-on it's the version 8.2. So we are going to confirm the firmware version. In this case is the 5.4.3. And it's this Fortimanager is going to represent this one, and this FortiGate is represented over here. We represented with this one. It's controlled by the Fortimanager. Maybe we can see also here in the settings that it's controlled by this Fortimanager .2.248, as we can see here on the diagram. Is this Fortimanager. Okay, also keep in mind that if we want to have a step-by-step and not too long video, we should see also these links. These are the official videos or the official information on the FortiGate. As we can see here, for example, these are the link for the authentical videos of the Fortimanager or the FortiGate, and all this information I will post it here, and the information in the box of the video. Okay, so let's start. Right now, what we can see here is the configuration on the Fortimanager. The actual status of the VPN is up. Let's go through, for example, through the VPN. Let's go through monitor IPSec. We see it is up. And also, I forget to tell you, if you want all the stencils that I am using, for example, on my configuration, you can go through the official site of the Fortinet. This is the official site where you can download all the information, network security icon library, and you are going to get a PowerPoint where it is all the information and interesting icons. Okay, so let's see. IPsec is up actually. So we are going to do a video, a live video. Let's keep in mind that maybe we are going to issue some trouble, and we are going to try to solve it as possible. Okay, so at this moment what I am going to do is to delete it. I am going to delete all the information. So first of all, I am going to go to the IPsec tunnel. I am going to delete it. Maybe this tunnel, this configuration is going to be a little bit long. So if we want to delete all these the tunnel, we need to delete all the information that depends on the VPN static. So in this case, we need to delete the policy number 5, the policy number 2, the static route 2, and the phase 2. So let's see, we go to the static route. Uh, I wanted to show you how to delete it. It is a way you can improve your knowledge on this technology. So maybe this is not the main purpose, but I hope you can. Okay, so in this case we delete another VPN, another static route. So let me do it again. We have, and I deleted the connection through the internet. So we are connected through this one, through the port 1. So I am going to do again the static route, network, static route, create new, internet service. I am going to use port 1, gateway is 192.168.5.1, administrative distance, it's okay. I am going to confirm that I have the internet connection. In this case is the number, this one, execute ping. We still have internet. Okay, so I deleted the static. Now I need to delete the policy that depends on the VPN IPsec. So I am going to delete this one. VPN, this one. I delete it. And now I can go through the VPN IPsec. And I can delete it. Okay. So at this moment, what we are going to see is that the VPN IPsec through the FortiGate on this site is down. So we are simulating that we already delayed the configuration of the VPN IPsec through this one, and the configuration here is at this moment is incomplete. As we can see, the tunnel is down. So I am going to delete the VPN IPsec from this site, but I am not going to do it by the FortiGates. I am going to do it through the Fortimanager. Also, you need to keep in mind that the Fortimanager it's a dynamic way you can use all the settings of not only one FortiGate but also thousands or maybe 10, depending of your network. Okay, so in this case we are going to go through the device manager. We can see here this is the FortiGate, so we are going to go through the policy package. In this case we are going to delete the policy that we have already configured. On this case the policies that I create are here. It's from port 8 to test. The test interface is the one that is mapped here. Maybe we can have some problems when we create it, but in this case we can see that this name, the IPSec underline Fortimanager, is the configuration of the IPSec the VPN IPSec, but we associate it to an interface that the name is called test. So in this case we are going to delete it first, the policies. I'm going to delete it. Once I delete it, what it is happening is that the configuration here is going to be changed. Policy package status are different. So Fortimanager tells you this is modified, so you need to do some changes. We go again to the policy. Now we don't have any policy, and let's go through the IPsec. Let's see if we can delete it. Perfect. Now what we are going to do is to update the policy. What we are going to see is that the configuration here, these policies are going to be deleted, and also what happened about the interfaces. Let's see. At this moment we have the IPsec Fortimanager. This is the port 6. The port 6 is this one. So in the port 6 we have the IPsec interface. Let's see what it is happening. Okay, it says we can continue. Connection up. Okay, install. We have to finish, and then we can go through the device manager again, and let's see what is the status. Okay, so now we should refresh. Here we can see that the IPsec is still attached on the interface, but what we are interested are here. The policies are not anymore. So we are going to delete it now through the IPsec. Let's see this one. The first one we are going to delete it. This is the second one. Now go through the phase 1. We delete it. It's IPsec Fortimanager. Then we go to delete it. Okay, now that we have already deleted, the config status is modified. So we are going to install the configuration that we have already modified on the Fortimanager. Okay, this is only going to be modified when the configurations has been modified from the Fortimanager. Once it finishes, we expect to see that there are no more here. It finishes, so at this moment there are no VPN IPSec. I want to see the interface. Perfect. So at this moment, we can set that we are going to start with the configuration. Okay. Normally, when we are managing the FortiGate through the Fortimanager, all these connections we don't have these options. Okay, so we see it like this. We see the FortiGate, and we can see this default information. Now, what we want to do, what we need to do is to set the display options, and after that we are going to select the IPSec phase 1 and the IPSec phase 2. We need to keep in mind that there are two ways of configuring the VPN IPsec. The one is through the interface, the one that we are going to do, and the second one is through the VPN manager. Okay, I recommend to use this way when we have not enough VPNs. The Fortimanager VPN, the VPN manager is recommended when we have a lot of FortiGates and we want to modify a lot of connections of the VPN IPsec. So let's see. Okay, here we already have the phase 1 and the phase 2. So we go now through the VPN IPsec 1. Then we said, okay, let's create. I am going to again to do this one. We are going to use the name of the tunnel. I am going to say that this is IPsec Fortimanager. This is the name of my tunnel. The IP address is going to be the one that we have over here. So in this case is we want to connect through, we want to connect to that IP address. Okay, that is the static IP 10.0.2.78, and the local interface that we are going to connect is through the port 6. We are connecting through this one. I select the pre-share key. In this case I am going to put password. Then we can see here the information of the authentication, NAT transversal, and that the data leak prevention. The dear peer detection here is the default information. So we are going to say, okay, it's good for me. And then I can go through the phase 2. I am going to click on create new. I am going to call IPsec Fortimanager phase 2. You can call it as you want, but I prefer to choose it the same name of the phase 1 so that we can recognize it better, just to add the underlined in phase 2. Now we are going to set that the local address is going to be 192.168.106.0/24, and the remote is going to be 10.200.1.0/24. In this case we are going to do OK. Now let's go to confirm. This is perfect. Okay, so in this case we have already modified the configuration. Now as we can see here, there are no configurations over here. There are no VPN IPsec at this moment. Okay, so now we can see, we can go through the manage FortiGate, and we can see the modified status are not on it. Let's see how the object configuration, especially the interface. As we can see, we don't have any interface configured or mapped on the FortiGate. So what we are going to do is to install the configuration that we have already done. Remember, always when we are talking about install, it could be whether configuration or policies is from the Fortimanager to the FortiGate. Always the action install is from the Fortimanager to the FortiGate. Okay, that action is always like that. We are okay. Now we can go through the tunnels, and now we can see the configuration of the IPsec Fortimanager. We have it like here. Now what we are going to do here is to confirm that we have mapped or map the interface. As we can see here, there are no there are no mapped information. So let's go to the policy. Now let's confirm if we can create another policy, and especially we are interested on the Fortimanager. Here we don't have it. Why don't we don't have it? Let me give me a moment. Okay, that's the thing that we are talking about. We need to configure the association interface. So we go to create new. We can set that we are going to create a new zone. In this case, we are going to call it, for example, test interface. Underline. Don't give us interline. And then we are going to do a we are going to select the FortiGate, and then we can see over here that this is the device interface that we are going to be associating. So we have the interface, then the name of the interface through the IPSec is going to be called test. Sorry guys, on this part of the video I couldn't save all my voice comments, so I am adding all my information or my comments again. Basically what I am doing over there is to create again the interface. I am mapping the interface as a dynamic interface and not through a zone. You can do it by the two ways. In this case I decided to use it in the dynamic. Then after that I could create the policy. That is very important to associate the interface, the configuration of the VPN through the map of the interface. If not, maybe you are going to have problems with the flow of the communication. Okay, so here over on the source device we can select it or not, it doesn't matter. I am going to first I created the connection from first I did it from the test to port 8, and then I was doing the port 8 through the test. Again, you can select or not the all. It's a normal policy. Then after that we go through the device manager and we could see that the policy package status has been modified, because obviously we create two policies. Then we go to install. I go through the FortiGate to confirm that we don't have the two policies, and then install the configuration, well, install the package policies. We can say it always that install is always from the Fortimanager to the FortiGate. That action is always done like that. And then we can see the policies that we have connected there, the IPsec from port 8 and the port 8 to IPsec. We have the configuration over there, and we can see that the tunnel is down, obviously because we haven't done anything on the FortiGate on the version 5.4.5, even though we can put a sniffer to check all the parameter or all the requests that are that we received from the other FortiGate. In that case, we set diagnose sniffer packet any port 500. The 500 port is the one that is associated with the connection through the IPsec, and the 4 is just to associate the interface. In this case, we are receiving the request from the port 3. The IP address is the 200 and .254. That is the port 6 of the FortiGate in version 5.2. We are receiving all the information, but we can see that we are not answering, obviously, because we don't have anything on the FortiGate. We are going to do the configuration of the FortiGate or the IPsec on the other FortiGate. We are going to do it. We can do it by the wizard. In this case, the IP address is the point of the port 6 .154. It automatically detects the interface. Now in this case, yes, okay. We set the pre-share key. Then after that, we associate the local interface, and in this case, it automatically detects the local subnet, and the remote subnet is the 192. 168.106.0/24, and then we can go through the static routes. We can see that it automatically created a static route, and we can see the status of the tunnel. We try to see the status, and then we set up, and the connections went up. Basically, we can see bidirectional communication now, obviously, and basically this is all the configuration. Most of the problems that you can have is especially on the map interface. That is you can have some problems over there. You need to check it out to confirm that it is correct associated with a VPN and it is created with an interface. So this is all basically. I hope that this video could help you to configure the information, the connection that you had on your infrastructure, and well, remember to check all this configuration, and not to forget if you have some doubts or some problems, especially if you have to configure something but it is not working, go to the tech support. They are specialists. Okay, so see you.